Oh, Mr. Dion.
Yeah, Jewel, rocking. How are you?
I'm here early. I was making sure I knew how to do it.
And I think we nailed it.
Hmm.
Except
I got
can't see the face. I just see like a black outline of Jewel, but
That's my hair. I'm kind of in a dark room right now too. That's probably why.
that's okay. I'm in the middle of the jungle, but we're still going to learn about international business together. And that's
Okay,
pretty
cool.
But now you're going to have to watch me do all the awkward stuff of like make sure that I can see the blackboard and watch me trip around my tiny little office while we.
Don't even worry about it. I'm
You
just eating lunch anyways.
Can you read the board?
Yeah.
You can. Okay.
Yeah.
And this is just like real life college. We're doing it.
Mhm. I wonder if some people are gonna forget.
I think yes, they definitely will, because that's the nature of our students. And the emails or reminders you send them, it will always happen. Did you think that video was okay? The world is flat.
Yeah.
It
was long though.
It's boring.
It was long. Yeah. It's definitely something I wouldn't watch a second time.
I can respect that. I think I'm gonna have more smaller, shorter videos.
Yeah. Yeah.
From now, like everything's based off technology, especially businesses.
I like where you're heading with that. Let's see, Parker, what do you have to add to that?
I mean, I would agree with what he said. I feel like, kind of like what Austin said, like it's not really a flat world. It's just it might feel smaller just because of technology. I don't know.
Here's what I want you guys to take away from the world is flat. The idea that as you manage your business, you should be looking for solutions from people all over the world. So if you need help with the graphics design portion of your business, you should find a mechanism like Upwork or Elance where you can actually hire people from India to do work for you because they are at a competitive advantage because their labor rates are much cheaper. When I was doing Shine's website, I used to put jobs up on Elance, and we were able to slash our costs by hiring people from all over the world instead of just using local businesses. Jennifer, you watched the video about cultural intelligence. Give me a couple of your takeaways to that and what you thought about it.
I guess I thought it was cool how like we can learn a lot from different cultures and how like the more experience with cultures we get, like I guess it goes hand in hand with like our intelligence. So like we can learn more through other cultures and we don't have to just be focused on like our culture, the US culture, but other people do things better. So like we can accept that and we can learn from that.
Oh, 100 points for you. Good job. Big D, you're putting a shirt on. Does that mean you're going full screen?
No, I'm folding up clothes. My mom in her trip.
Big D, what a great introduction to how all of us come from a different culture. Right?
That's true. You feel me? I gotta get mine.
I don't know where to go with that. I grew up in a culture where people didn't say, I got to get mine. It's not part of what I did. But
yeah.
I love you, and I think I know you well enough that I care about your culture enough to make sure that instead of saying, like, this guy isn't listening, maybe it's his culture to fold clothes topless while he's on a conference call. I don't know enough about his culture yet to make sure if I can make a judgment. He might be doing it all in love.
That's true. I'll invite you to the cookout next time.
He's lying.
Don't you remember when Austin filled your stomach? He gave you a meal. He treated you well. You remember that?
Yeah, he did treat me well.
Preston, what does cultural intelligence mean to you?
Cultural intelligence. I would just say it would be probably understanding like the differences between each cultures and how they work and how everybody interacts with people in their culture and how they interact with other cultures, so to speak. Not really sure how to
I think you did a great job. That is, it's ambiguous because the whole idea of culture is ambiguous, right? You can't just say, this is my culture. Culture is the way you feel about everything, right? Culture is absolutely the way you feel about everything, the way you view the world. One of the experts on culture says culture is the operating system that you use in your life. It's the lens that you see everything through. Kriegel, I see you're laughing like somebody's tickling you below the camera. What's going on? Kriegel? Cultural intelligence. Tell us what's going on.
One of my takeaways was that I thought the two videos kind of go hand in hand in terms of importance, because one video is talking about how the world is smaller and how we have to be able to, how business people might have to be able to connect with other business people from a different country or a different continent, right? But then you have to be able to understand and, like, I guess, try and see from their, not, you don't have to completely grasp their cultural, like, viewpoints, but you have to be able to understand it and respect it.
Oh, I was going to do that thing. What's that? Wasn't there a show on ESPN where the guy would mute people if he didn't like what they were saying? Pardon the interruption. I was going to use that on you, Kriegel, but you kept on saying such wonderful, smart, wise things. So good job.
Yeah, gotcha.
But I'm going to do that with somebody because it'll make me feel really cool and powerful. Who wants to tell me what foreign direct investment is and why it's important? I pick Jermichael. Foreign direct investment, when other countries come in and make investments into other countries. Why is it important? What are some of the things that you read about in chapter 1 that make it something worth looking into?
He's not even here.
Oh yeah, he's here.
I say it's important because it has to do kind of with how we were just talking about the cultural thing. If you want to get into a different country doing business and stuff, you really have to understand exactly how they do business. So the investment can be more than just investing money into that country or company. It could be more of an investing your time and understanding exactly how they do things.
Oh, plus 100 points, Jermichael. Take that, Big D. You said he wasn't here. You showed up in a big way. For where I live in Belize, there are no franchises. Almost every single country in the rest of the world has a McDonald's and a Subway and a Walmart. Belize doesn't have any of them. There's not enough foreign direct investment into Belize. What are some of the reasons you think that people wouldn't show up and invest in a country like Belize? Austin, what do you think? Why would you not invest your hard-earned money into another country?
Why would I not?
Why would you not?
I don't know. You said Belize has a corrupt politicians, like trade barriers and stuff like that. High taxes.
Oh, you're so smart. All of the three things that he said are the three main reasons why you would not invest into another country. Corruption, because you don't know if the political climate is safe enough, or you don't know if your investment is on. Kriegel, are you Snapchatting at the same time as this, and that's why you're giggling?
No, Austin is just funny.
You said I'm funny?
Yeah. He's brilliant. And now you're all seeing him at work, lounging in his bed, giving 100% right answers. There's also a tax structure, right? When people were fighting about Google, they were trying to figure out, okay, what tax incentives do I get? What infrastructure development will I get so that I bring a factory to you? The country of Belize, if somebody comes and says, I want to create a whole bunch of jobs and I'm going to put a big factory in, Belize doesn't say, that's great, we'll give you tax breaks. They say, we're going to increase taxes and we want all of these things, and that's why nobody will invest in the country. foreign direct investment is the way that people are getting out of poverty all across the world. The biggest investor in Africa right now, what country is doing the most investment in Africa right now? Olson for the win.
Can you repeat that?
What country is making the biggest investments in Africa right now?
What country in Africa?
No, what country is investing the most money in Africa?
Oh,
Jennifer for the steal.
Oh, wait, what's the question?
What country is investing the most money in Africa right now through foreign direct investment?
Inside of Africa?
Yep. So
Y'all just don't say China.
Oh, Austin, you can hang up whenever you're done. You win. You're the winner of the day.
Y'all not reading the Learn Smarts. Come on.
Is it even possible to not read the Learn Smarts?
It is.
I know Austin did. Jewel?
You guys are on top of it.
Yes.
Jewel, what's your focus country that you're going to work on this semester?
Australia.
Australia.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure how to discuss the culture of Australia yet because I don't know enough about it.
They got Aborigines.
They got cool accents.
That's true.
Surfboards. Dangerous animals.
True.
There's good reasons not to invest dangerous animals.
Crocodiles and alligators.
I want you guys to open up another window on your computer and type into the search bar CIA World Factbook and then the country that you're working on. CIA World Factbook. Big D, I know you're on your iPhone fold laundry. You just listen, and then Kriegel's probably going to do your stuff for you anyways.
Yeah, I was about to make it do.
I think I'm fine. All I want you to do is bookmark that site because that site will give you a great start to learning everything you can about the culture and the economic environment and the trade wars and trade alliances that happen in order to get people started more efficiently. How many of you guys have watched the new Avengers movie? Pretty much everybody. Jewel, you don't strike me as an Avengers person.
Yeah, I haven't watched it.
I haven't watched it.
The assignment that I gave you guys for the next discussion is talking about the Avengers movie because I was trying to be cool and I don't really know how to, but I wanted to do something that was relevant. And this last Avengers movie is about this guy that wants to kill off half of the population of the universe so that the other half can thrive because the world is overpopulated. There's two ways to think about that from a global business perspective. You can believe that people create their own wealth and that population is not a bad thing but a good thing economically, or you can believe that there's not enough resources to go around and the population needs to be thinned out. My hope for you guys next week is that you really try and figure out how you feel about that question, to try and understand if you believe that people create wealth and therefore more people, more opportunity, or if you believe that we would all be better off if there was less people on the earth so we would all have more. Depending on what country you guys are studying, they would answer that question much differently. Where I live in Belize, there's only 350,000 people in the whole country. That's the same population as Grand Rapids, Michigan. They believe they have too many people, and that's why they're too hungry. I am a firm believer that the reason why we don't have enough money and jobs is because there is no celebration of entrepreneurship, and it is too hard to get a business started in this community. It is not a fact that there's not enough food to go around, because when you give people land and tools, they create their own wealth, whether that is by planting a garden or by starting a business or by trading with other people. I am a believer in the economic model that people create wealth. Big D, how do you feel about that?
That people create wealth?
Yeah. Do you think that if we got rid of half the people in the world, we would be better off? Or do you believe that people create wealth and the more people, the merrier, as long as they're all doing their part?
Yeah, people definitely create wealth because people generate different ideas.
Austin, do you
People
agree?
get the thinking process going.
No, I do not agree. I disagree with D'Angelo.
Tell me why.
I don't care what you say.
I don't agree. The more, the merrier.
Aha! Why not?
I say the more the merrier.
All right, you're getting
Someone said
muted.
more the merrier.
D'Angelo, you're my first victim. Mute. See, we can't hear you. Austin, you have the floor.
Oh, that's all I had to say. I just don't agree. The more, the merrier, because I mean, we can only go so far. We can only do so much.
What's the limitation? I'm going to challenge you because I don't believe you, but I love that you're talking a different way about things.
In terms of what? Like people
You
in the
believe
world?
that there's a finite amount of resources, and that if there's too many people, they'll get after the resources, and some of them will starve because there's not enough to go around.
Okay, let me ask you this. So how many first world countries are there?
How many first world countries? I don't know the answer, but I'm guessing there's probably about 20.
Okay. Who, like, when people go to space and people create, like, apps and technology and new stuff, like revolutionary products and stuff like that, I feel like it's the same countries, the same people contributing. So do you feel like if more of the world, and I feel like that's only like 20% of the world that's contributing to all this. So do you feel like the other 80% contributed, we'd be further along? Because I don't think so.
That's very fascinating. I think that just like all games, when you have money, it's easy to play. And when you don't have money, it's really hard to play. So I bet, like, let's just say that there was one of my students that was playing Fortnite while we were trying to have a discussion. Right. I don't know about Fortnite, but a lot of games you can buy unlimited weapons or you can buy unlimited lives. And the people that have lots of money always perform better in those games. Okay. I'm not real cool, but I play a little bit of Candy Crush, right? I'm not proud of that, Olson, but that's the thing that I do, and I'm trying to, well, I'm all alone in the rainforest and I don't have any friends. I play Candy Crush. Most people without money don't get to buy boosters and lives and all the things that I get to buy because I'm rich. And I might be at a different level than Olson, but is it because I had more, because I was smarter or better, or was it because that I had more money and that meant more ease of use? Is that interesting to think about?
Yeah, it is.
So I believe that if the people of Africa in the nations that were really hurting had money enough to start a business or an idea, that they would create their own wealth by figuring out what plants work or what skill set they could trade with, and therefore propelling themselves out of poverty without the help of anybody, as long as they could get the seed capital. I believe that's true of all nations. If they had enough money to start, they would be able to achieve more and feed more. I have 30 acres. If I use it smart, I could grow corn and bananas and pigs and chickens, and I would be able to make so much that I had extra left over and I could feed other people with. If you gave everybody in the world 5 acres and some money to play with, I believe the whole world would be better off. Austin, does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Jameson, do you believe me? Do you agree with me? Oh, he must be playing something fun. Jennifer, what about you? Did what I say make sense?
Yeah.
What is your focus country?
Belize.
Did you go into the CIA World Factbook on one of your other tabs?
Yeah, it's up there.
What does it say that the GDP per capita is?
What would that be under?
Probably under economic data. You could just scroll through and find GDP per capita. That means how much money does the average person earn in a year?
It says for 2017 that it's $8,300.
So $8,300 per year is what a family has to live off of. You really limit your ability to create wealth if you live off $8,300 a year, right? By the time you get food, lodging, and maybe a little bit of healthcare, that entire amount is spent. It doesn't leave enough money for investing into your business or your land. Does that make sense to everybody? So if there was an investment and a celebration of entrepreneurship, like what I'm trying to do in my own village, by starting small businesses. So I've worked with locals to start maybe 4 or 5 different businesses, and some of them are failing and some of them are doing okay. But the idea that somebody gets to start creating money in the economy is pretty exciting, because even if it's a fruit stand, if somebody invests in the fruit stand and then sells more fruit and earns money and then trades with other people in the village, it can create wealth throughout everybody's. Jewel, have you felt like the assignments were fair and the timelines were fair? Austin, it's okay if your mom comes in.
Harassing me. She needs to know her boundaries. I'm a man.
He's raised a fine young man, and he's smart, and he does a good job with his connect work. She can come in. Sorry. How about any insight as to the layout of this class, the due dates, the amount of work that Connect was? What I didn't hear any real complaints. Is this something we're going to be able to do from week to week?
Yes.
Yeah, I just don't know what we're doing for our our final group projects.
I'll send out some good instructions for that. Right
Okay.
now, I just wanted you to choose something, and then each week I'm going to add a little assignment that will build on each other. And then
Okay.
knowing me, about week 10, I'll give you instructions, which basically say all the stuff you've already done as part of your final paper. So
Okay.
it'll build as we go. But like next week, you're going to talk about socialism versus capitalism, collectivism versus individualism. And you're going to talk about that within the context of your own country that you're dealing with. And that'll be part of your discussions.
Okay.
And
I got a question.
What's up?
So am I working on France or am I working on Mexico?
I would rather you worked on Mexico. I would like a strong view of, like, you know how Donald Trump just rewrote NAFTA? I want to know what that means for the people of Mexico and for the people of the United States. Because that's the other big thing that we have to fight with in this class. Donald Trump is really not pro free trade across the globe. He's really into a very protectionist mindset of America first. Most free market economists think that he is doing something that's going to make a problem for everybody. We get a chance to determine how you feel about that in a really well-researched paper to understand who wins and who loses with NAFTA.
All right, I got you.
Brandon, are you happy?
I'm happy.
You're happy? Kriegel, are you happy?
Yeah, I'm happy.
You feel like we had success today?
What do you say?
Floyd, do you feel like we had success today?
Oh yeah. Sorry, I was late.
Is that Floyd? Floyd, did we have success today? Are you happy?
I'm happy every day.
Is that not Floyd?
It's Marcus.
Marcus. Marcus, what's your last name?
Chandler. You haven't had him probably.
Oh, sorry I called you Floyd. You're welcome to this lecture anytime you want to come, Marcus.
What you
Big
laughing
D,
for?
are you happy? Big D, I unmuted you. You got a chance to redeem yourself. Is that East Coast? I'm A-OK? No? No. All right, I'm muting you again, starting next time. Big D, this is the first time I thought I was going to have to ever say this, but let's wear our shirts next week. Make sure that we have shirts on. Just so
I
we
got
can
a shirt
universal
on.
rule for
I got a
everybody
shirt
to be
on.
part of. Next week you're going to talk a little bit about the zero-sum game. Do people have enough? Is there enough resources for everybody? How is wealth created? I just want to hear your insight. When you guys do your one-page discussion post for me, I want you guys to use research from the internet. So not just what you think, but say, hey, I went on these 2 websites and here's what I learned. I think the discussion we just had over the last half hour of our lives was pretty awesome, which means I think we can go on without having to do extra response posts. Everybody feeling good about where we're at?
Yeah.
All right, you got my number. If you need anything, keep on going. You guys are doing good, and I think this is going to be a good class. So let's keep it up. We'll do the same thing next week. All right, guys. We'll see you next week. Thank you very much.
See you.